Hello, everybody. Here's my newscaster. What's the deal is? Hurricane Ida is really bukkake Louisiana right now. Mississippi even lost a highway. Nobody died because nobody lives in Mississippi. Jake Paul really owned the week. While we were trying to get a few Americans out of Afghanistan, Jake Paul was making $1 trillion fighting Tyron. It's not Tyrone. Tyron Woodley. What a piece of shit fight that was. I want my money back in the way of yas. The Taliban. It's Taliban Day. It's Taliban Independence Day over in Afghanistan, as they host a parade with the booty that we left for them. Lots of tanks, lots of Humvees, but they brought their own Toyota Leica Rock. How do you say Leica Rock in Arabic? Because that's a commercial for Toyota. This is LongDays, and can you tell me what's the dollars?
Yannis Pappas. Yeah. When you all tucked up in the day long, and the news online going on and on, what's right and wrong, and it's something up. Now here comes a great kid you know you can trust. From the true who's who to the news and cameras, to the fake politics and the propaganda. Yeah, this kid's screwed in, got a lot to say. Oh shit, it's about to be a long day. It's a long day. It's a long day.
You know, it's been fun just seeing images of the Taliban having their parade. You know, there's a Greek Independence Day parade that happens on Fifth Avenue where the Greeks celebrate their independence from their enslavers, their oppressors, the Turks, of which I am a rape baby of. And we walk around with white stockings and old traditional soldier garb, and we eat baklava and pasticcio. And we watch little girls from the church and little boys from the church wave their little Greek flags as their parents, who were the sons and daughters of diner owners who are now dentists, doctors, and bankers, wave at, I don't know, maybe 50 people in the stands, because there are no Greeks. There's no Greeks. If I was Indian, I would have been famous by now. But I am Greek, so when Greeks show up to my show, they bring their grandmothers, their children, and their aunts to see me, and that only accounts for 10% of the audience, because there's only about 1 million Greeks in the entire country. But we have our parade. Everyone has their parade. The Puerto Ricans have their parade where they just celebrate Wepa! Because I don't know what they're celebrating. What is the Puerto Rican Day Parade about? Reggaeton, pulling out a titty in 1 year, and maybe just celebrating Mumfongo, which I think is cow tongue. We got Drew the pedo hunter back.
The pedo. It's not
He's our Batman, okay? During the day, he works at LongDays. At night, he's a vigilante pedo hunter. So if you're in the northern Jersey area and you got an affinity, if you have a penchant for children, Drew and Rami, not from the Hulu show. Surprisingly, there is another Arabic name, Rami. I thought they were all named Muhammad, but Rami's the outlier name. Him and Rami will come right up to you and say, "What were you thinking, my guy?" Because it's always a guy. You're never going to catch any women pedos. That's why my daughter is only allowed to have female teachers, and all men should be executed by the Taliban. They caught 2
females.
Drew, you caught 2 females?
Yeah.
And who were they? They were,
but they came with the guy.
Were they
couples.
lesbians, or they were looking after guys?
No, they were a couple.
So you're just a cock block. You're just a cock block.
Against
Drew,
14-year-old boys, yes.
Let me tell you something. If I have a son and he's about to go hook up with some 42-year-old mentally ill kindergarten teacher, let that one slide. Look the other way, like a cop when you hop the turnstile. Because my boy's about to get laid, and that is an instruction. He's about to get his blue belt in fucking.
you're right. They got her husband's probably a cuckold and was going to film it or something.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So the Taliban had their parade, and it's very funny to watch because we supplied them with their cars for their parade. They are parading and having a mock proverbial funeral with all NATO's flags. And they have their flags. The Taliban has their flag. It's in black and white. And I always wonder if their flag and our flags are both made in China. That would be really funny if there's like a factory somewhere in China where they're just making all the flags of people who are at war with each other. Just like they made the MAGA hats. Make America Great Again by only making shit in America on this hat made in China. So they got their flags flying. They got all these different flags. It kind of looks like a fucked up United Nations march, actually, because they got all the flags of the countries that conquered Afghanistan for the past 20 years. Look, Afghanistan, we never owned Afghanistan. You got to heed the warning of the Native Americans when they say nobody owns the land. The land owns us. I wouldn't even call our stay in Afghanistan a lease. We weren't even renting. I would call it more... It was more of a timeshare. It was more of a timeshare in Dewey Beach.
Airbnb.
It was an Airbnb session where we just kind of hung out in the fucking dry mountains for about 20 years. And then now they've hired a management company to just come and clean that shit up and get it ready for the Chinese and Russians who are about to stay for a little while. So they have their parade. They got their guns. And it's just funny thinking about them trying to figure out how to fly our Apache helicopters. Them just sitting there be like, oh, but they didn't leave the keys. They're just sitting there turning knobs. Yeah. Like, Mustafa, you know how to fly this? And they just go up and it just crashes. We should have left the keys because the funny thing is they're not trained. They don't know how to fly that shit. So that'd just be funny watching them go down.
This is not push to start.
Exactly. There's Drew. Drew is what you call an aspiring comedian. Now, here's the deal with Drew. He's not funny at all. But that doesn't matter in 2021. I am encouraging Drew to do stand-up. Because do you want me to organize your stand-up show?
I'll do it.
Do you want to open for me one night?
Yeah.
And put me in a hole?
I just need a cocktail. Actually, it'll make you look way better.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
What if I just bring Drew...
And I just kill and you...
and then he just fucking massacres?
Mm-hmm.
What if he just crushes and then I go up there and be like, wow, I didn't... It's sort of like a Jake Paul match.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just going in there expecting to knock it out, but then like he's actually got an overhand right.
You're Nate Robinson and I'm just...
And you just knock me the fuck out.
Your agent comes up to me like, hey...
Jake Paul... Now we're going to get comments that Drew's talking too much. If you get me one more 3-star review on iTunes, I'm going to call the Taliban and have them cut that pretty fucking head off and put it in a barber's window because your hair looks fucking good today, Drew.
Gracias.
You got the Christopher Reeve little sway down, and Jesse looks like he's part-time Taliban. We could do a sitcom called like The Jersey Kid and the Taliban Father, where he's just raised by a Taliban kid. So Jake Paul, did you watch it? Did you guys watch? All right, I paid for it.
Illegally.
Drew did it illegally. I paid for it. And the kid's just making millions. And now he has on his resume, he's got a retired basketball player. He has a probably Hall of Fame wrestler, MMA champion who just came off hip surgery, who was 40 years old. That's like fighting someone's grandfather who can't throw punches. His third victim was, I don't even remember. Who was the third victim he fought after? No. And then he just fought Tyrone Woodley, who is a 40-year-old former wrestler who could strike, who had some power, and he won a split decision. So he has made trillions of dollars boxing against people who are not boxers, which is brilliant, dog. Brilliant. That is absolutely brilliant. That is like making a medication that fixes COVID when you're not a doctor and selling it. Why the fuck is somebody right now not merching up COVID pills? All you got to do, cuz, is paint some M&Ms white, throw them on your website, and sell them to your fans, and call them COVID Antidote. Brought to you by whatever your podcast name is. That's the era we live in right now, where it doesn't really matter what's true or not, or what works or not. It's just sell the fucking thing. I have Eva Lovia's fleshlight. It's going for $5,000. Let's just say she kissed it. Okay, so I know you could probably get an Eva Lovia fleshlight for a lot less, but can you get one that was given to Yanni and kissed by Eva Lovia, who Drew did sniff her seat when he came in?
It was a character piece.
And it was a character piece. Sean Terry, lad, 14. So Jake Paul, what's next for Jake Paul? I think at this point, he should fight RuPaul. Or he should fight Logan Paul, his brother, to the death. Are you kidding me? Do you know how much money that would make if it's the two Paul brothers, but one has to die?
Hosted by the Taliban.
Dog, you could get anything done you wanted. If you said, hey, we will arrange this fight only if we can get 70% of the adults vaccinated in America. And even if you're an anti-vaxxer, if you said, we will have this fight if we can unvaccinate the 50% of people who've been vaccinated. Whatever you believe, if we arrange that fight, the popular demand would be so high that people would do whatever needed to happen in order for the two Paul brothers to fight to the death. And we make their mother, Mrs. Paul, watch it. Clockwork Orange style, like this, with clips on her eyes, where she has to watch one of her sons murder the other one with their hands. Fucking Rome style, baby. When you look at the Roman statues, do you notice that they pose, Jess? Like, you're a finger painter, right? So do you notice that I think that was their Instagram phase. I think they had that like sort of narcissistic want to be like recorded, but that was the technology that they had to just have a gay guy sit there and sculpt them out of rock. But that was their like skinny pose. The Roman skinny pose was kind of like one leg out to the thing, and then they did that, and it was like a look away. The David. That was the fucking Roman Graham hashtag skinny pose, hashtag fucking watching Real Housewives. My wife watches Real Housewives the way people who have an addiction to the Home Shopping Network watch that. I asked her today, I was like, what? Because I was just watching her watching. I said, what makes this show appealing to women? They don't do anything. She goes, no, they do things and there's drama. And that's exactly what she said. And I cracked up. Women are vicious animals that if they don't create their own drama, they like to watch other women create their own drama while they can just sit back and enjoy it. That's what they like. Drama. We like comedies and tragedy. I want to watch one of the Paul brothers die in a ring, or I want to watch, that's how we'll put Jake Paul's mom. Or how about this? Tyrone Woodley's mom fights Jake Paul's mom to the death. Okay? At a catch weight. Even if that means that one of them has to get their heavies lopped off. Because I think Tyrone Woodley's mom has some heavies. I think there's a thing that when you're a black woman after 50, your titties just get real fucking giant. Because have you ever hugged a black woman? It's like watching an ASMR video. It's like taking a Valium. And it's something about just putting your head in their pillows and having them tell you, it's going to be okay, baby. It's something comforting about like, it's going to be okay, baby. Whatever you're going through, it can't be as bad as what we've been through. And then you just, your head is in her titties, but not in a sexual way because, because she's big. Black women get big. After 50, they just get big. Wasp women get it's two opposite directions. Black women get big. Waspy women just drink themselves to death with white wine Zinfandel in the closet. And they just get skinny and they throw up their food. and their veins start showing, and there ain't no comfort there. They start looking like witches, and just a nice fat black woman just to put your head in there, and just everything's gonna be okay when your head's in the bosom of a woman with big heavies. Seeing a skinny older black woman is rare. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? It's very rare. Have you ever, think about a 60-year-old black woman.
Can't.
Maybe 1 out of 10? And the tetes always keep growing. The tetes grow. And it's just a comfortable experience. So even if Tyrone Woodley's moms had to get a breast reduction to make a catch weight against Jake Paul's mom, I think they could make a lot of money. They could make a lot of money fighting each other. So the fight sucked. But you got to give the Pauls credit, dude. The Pauls represent everything that's kind of good about the internet in that they're entertainers. You know, he's a troll. He gets us to tune in hoping for him to get knocked out. He learned from McGregor, who learned from Mayweather, who's the best at it, who learned from Muhammad Ali. They become the heel, and we all tune in hoping that the good guy wins. And it's entertainment. We're entertained. For a second, we don't think about our bills unless you spent the last $70 to watch a fight and you didn't pay for your lights, which I'm sure happens, especially in Cleveland, his hometown. I like when he comes into Cleveland, puts on an event. Everyone's got to pay to get in. They don't have any money. I mean, Cleveland, when you look at Cleveland, Rochester, Schenectady, you could go to Troy, New York. You could go to Albany. Basically, any city outside of Chicago, New York, Miami, Los Angeles, San Francisco, and maybe a handful of others. Miami, which is propped up completely by laundered South American, Russian, and Chinese money and drugs. Our cities they're just vacant. They're just dead. And you go to all the Chinese cities in Asia and you're like, when did these fucking Eastern Hemis get skylines? It's almost like we're living in denial. Like, have you ever seen like a Malaysian skyline and you're like, is that New York? And then you go to New York and some guy hits you in the head with a hammer in the train and you're like, oh, that's not New York. And then you go to fucking Asia and you're like, this is New York. You're like, nah, dude, you're in Malaysia. I didn't even know Malaysia was a country, let alone had a fucking skyline. If you ask 8 out of 10 Americans, tell me what you think living in Malaysia is like. They're going to be like, are you kidding me? I heard you get Lyme's disease from touching water. You can't drink the water. I heard in Malaysia you get attacked by orangutans and there's fucking spiders that'll kill you and they live in huts. And then you look at Malaysia and you're like, what's the dollars? When the fuck did that happen? When the fuck did you steal Cleveland? They started Cleveland and they finished it in Asia. Because right now, Google for me the top skylines in Asia. We only have 2. We have 2. We got Chicago and New York. How many Asian cities got big ass fucking dicks in the sky? What's another one?
Number 10, Beijing.
Beijing. You ever go to Beijing, Doug? It's just boners everywhere. Big buildings, just like a bunch of dicks popping out of the sky.
9, Shenzhen.
Go for it. No, come on. Be Chinese with it. Shenzhen. Try it.
I always do Japan. Shenzhen.
Good job.
I'm just going to do it Japan. Japanese. Chongqing.
Zhongxing.
Guangzhou, Bangkok, Tokyo. Oh, that is a joke.
I don't want to steal Sergio's joke, so I'm going to give him credit for it. But he said one of the funniest things to me on the phone. He should turn it into a bit, but I'm going to credit him and just use it for entertainment on my podcast. Because he said he had a Chinese friend growing up, and he would just start making noises. And he said, he asked his friend, "Yo, just tell me if I say something by accident." Sergio Chicone, follow him on Twitter. It's too funny. I'm sorry. You can still use it as a bit. Shanghai, Seoul. I mean, look at these cities, dog.
Oof, that looks nice.
I mean, Asians, this is the 21st century belongs to Asia, Singapore.
Is that London?
Because here's the deal. I want you to look at either Hong Kong or Singapore, 1950 to 21. Hong Kong, of course, we know. I mean, they all have dope skylines. Nobody talks about this. Then you go to Pittsburgh, it's like the Andy Warhol Museum and meth heads. That's it. Why do you think that happened? Because we shipped all of our jobs to China, the great Republican.
Oh my God.
Yeah, look at what those cities look like. So what is that? I mean, dude, you look at those cities even in the 1950s, 60s, and 70s, it's just a bunch of ninjas wearing slippers fighting Bruce Lee in movies. And dude, they didn't even have cars. They had dudes running people around. They had dudes, they were, instead of horses, it was just a dude running you around. You were just a British dude, like, hello, I'm here to take me to my chateau. My name is Nigel. Are you my person to pick me up at 2? I'll be at the airport. Can you run me home? Can you have a few Chinese run me home? And now they make all the cars, they have all the skyscrapers, and they make every single plastic fucking tchotchke that we have up on a shelf or in a child's hand or on the bottom of our sneakers. They make everything. We used to make it. And then we were like, nah. Richard Nixon was like, yo, we're going to help you build China, but here's the deal. You build our shit. I made a backdoor deal with all these corporations where here's the deal. You're going to pay your people 5 cents a day because that is better than the fucking worms that they eat and the pet dogs that they feast on after their child cries when they find out what they're having for dinner. So 5 cents is better. See, because over here we got labor laws and shit and we got people who can like speak up. But we're going to make a deal with you where you just make our shit for, and you know, whatever. Pay your people fucking dirt. So the people I made backdoor agreements with who own corporations could pad their profits even more because as the great Jesse Scaturo says, who's sitting behind the camera, there's no end to up. A billionaire wants $1 trillion. Because why doesn't Jeff Bezos go, I'm just going to go live in Monaco and have women feed me grapes? Why do you want to go to space? Let me get this. You want to go in a fucking tube to space where you can't breathe and just look out the window and spend $1 trillion doing that? Why not go to Monaco and just live out every sexual fantasy you've ever had for the rest of your life until you die? Jeff Bezos has 2 decades left, 3 decades. Or how about just give Drew a hundo here? How about just give Drew $100,000?
I'll be Dan Bilzerian.
The kid's fucking doing social work. He's hunting pedos. What's a more big deal, to protect our children from pedos who speak English as a second language, or for you to look out the fucking window and have an airline named Virgin? The first guy went on there, I would like you, just a dream. Remember that guy? What's that guy's name who owns Virgin Airlines? O'Brien. I like you. Had a dream when I was a kid. And every kid was going like, you know what? None of us ever thought about looking out the window at Earth and coming back down. We had dreams about playing center field for the Yankees, about clearing Jersey City of pedophiles who speak English as a second language. Jesse had fantasies of living like Gauguin and just going and dying in Tahiti of syphilis after he banged every single nature-loving, no-shirt-wearing Native American woman he saw. Why don't people do what Gauguin did, the painter? If you're Franks and Beans or you didn't have any culture growing up and you don't know who Gauguin is, here's the thing about Gauguin. Not the best artist. It looks like your son's kindergarten painting of a woman, but here's what he did. He made a equivalent of $1 billion in like 18-something as a banker, and he said, why would I need any more money? I've robbed enough people. I've taken enough. Let me just go live somewhere, fuck and paint brown women until I die of syphilis. It's funny that Gauguin just came up naturally because that's the point I'm making. Why isn't Jeff Bezos somewhere just like, why isn't he in Thailand just fucking cleaning up the ladyboy culture? Look at Gauguin's painting. He's not good, Jess. I know he's your idol, but he's not good because I could do that. He's getting canceled, actually. Is he really?
He's dead.
He's not that bad. I mean, he's decent, you know?
I could do that.
He's decent. But, you know, I don't know.
Oh, look.
Have you noticed that, though, about, like, Asian cities? Like, if you sneak, like, it's just happened over the past, like, 50 years where our cities, because Troy, New York, let's talk about Troy, New York. Troy, New York used to be one of the richest cities in the world. It's actually funny to think about because when you go to Troy, New York now, there's like a 1 in 2 chance you just get murdered. As soon as you get into the city lines, there's just like someone trying to shoot you, like bang, bang. Troy, New York at one point was like, I think GE was there, you know, Glens Falls, all these companies that set up shop in these cities made these cities some of the richest in the world, and then they just left. And now Troy City is like one of the most dangerous cities in the world. Flint, Michigan, another one. I mean, the list goes on. But in New York State, it's funny because New York City is one of the richest cities in the world, and the rest of the state is just, it's fucking Afghanistan. And then you go to Asia and you look at all those cities and you're like, have you ever seen Wuhan? Pull up Wuhan, which we didn't even know was a city until they created the thing that's killing people. Look at Wuhan. Wuhan, before you Google it, Wuhan is like America's, let's say it's like America's, I'd say Wuhan is like America's Kalamazoo or America's
Montana.
What's the city in Montana? Montana City? Who the fuck knows? Yeah. It's like Idaho City. It's like, who gives a fuck about Wuhan, right? It's just another city in China. It's not fucking Beijing. It's not Shanghai. It's not Hong Kong on that island. And look at Wuhan. Let's look at Wuhan skyline. I mean, look at Wuhan, cuz. Is that Wuhan?
Yeah.
I mean, dude, look at Wuhan. Jesse, you looking at that shit? That looks like Manhattan, and it's Wuhan. Where did they get all this money? What the fuck? Dude, they built it quick, too. Look at that, a Wuhan supermarket loaded with DVD sellers.
That looks great.
That is Wuhan right now. We just don't know about it because we have this thing, you know, we've been taught that America's the best all the time, and and for a while we were, you know, the 80s, it was, you know, the Brat Pack, St. Elmo's Fire. Then you had the Corey kids who were just like pedophile food for movie studio heads. They just raped Corey Haim's asshole, and he just drowned his sorrow in heroin and cocaine. But, you know, his parents signed him up for that deal. I think there was a period where, before the Me Too era, where the parents who were poor but they had like a good-looking kid, they would just sign a contract going like, you will make my kid a movie star, and I offer as tribute my child's orifices. And then the parents just said, hey, Corey, son, you're going to be a movie star. Daddy is going to be able to golf the way he wants to golf. And if you have any side effects from this arrangement, a good drug to take is heroin, horse tranquilizers, methamphetamines, whatever you can get your hands on, Corey, to drown out the fucking sorrows and memories from having some Jabba the Hutt looking studio head just sweat on your boy ass. Just remember, we're making a movie with you and your buddy Corey Haim. Corey Feldman. The two Coreys. It was a good deal back then. Jamie Spears made that deal at some point. I like what he's trying to do right now. Jamie Spears, the father of Britney Spears, who's had his conservative revoked, is asking for just $2 million. He's just blackmailing. He's going, you know what? I'll get out of your hair for $2 million. The court's probably going like, no, dude, you don't understand. you can no longer steal her money. And he's like, well, here's the deal. Wait a second. Here's the deal. I got used to a certain lifestyle using her money. Here's the deal, okay? I'm a member at this golf club. I have these 3 properties where I sip tea with the former head of Black Lives Matter who lives next door to me. We have these properties to upkeep. You don't understand. What about me? I need just a finder's fee, per diem, something to make me go away quiet. And they're going, no, Jamie, you don't understand. We're forcing you to go away. There's nothing you could do. You lost this lawsuit. You can no longer steal your daughter's money. And he goes, wait, can I just get $2 million? Can I have $2 million? And like, what do you mean? You can't just ask for $2 million. He's like, you don't understand what it's like to get used to just having money you didn't earn from your little robot daughter who you abuse. You don't understand what that's like. What do you want me to go back to living in Florida? Okay? Like a stripper's father? My daughter's a pop star. Give me $2 million. You don't understand. I was in control of her hundreds of mil, and you took that away from me. All I'm asking for is $2 to walk away. Yeah, you can pull that up. Right now, he's asking for $2 million, and it's really funny because he's just demanding $2 million. Even though we all know he's not her real father, the CIA is. Project Mickey Mouse. Look it up. Guys, we're brought to you by one of my favorite sponsors. I use them daily, and this is no exaggeration. Ground News. You got to go get the app. It's an amazing app that is very necessary today. You know how I feel about media. I rant about it all the time. I give you a long day about it all the time. I believe it's one of the biggest problems and crises we face, that there's no repercussions. That the media can just act with, futility? Yeah, they just fucking act with futility. There's no consequences for them exaggerating stuff, editorializing stuff, skewing stuff. And Ground News is a beautiful, beautiful idea where they show you the bias. They give you options to read things from the right and left, and they rate what they believe it to be skewed right or left. So you can get both perspectives on the news and those articles that are more central. And so you can see for yourself. It's an incredible, incredible app, and it's the best way to get your news in 2021 is just by downloading the app. The way you do it is go to ground.news/fumes. The promo code, the referral code is fumes. So that's ground.news/fumes, promo code fumes, and you will get a free month of premium access. The premium access is the best. I pay for it, and go see for yourself why the premium access is the best. So Ground News doesn't use your browsing history to show you stuff you already agree with. And one of their best features is the premium. What we're talking about is the blind spot feed that highlights underreported stories on both the left and right, so you don't get trapped in these feedback loops. So go get that free month of premium access. Go get the app. Start there. It's very easy. It's free to get the app. And it's just amazing. The media landscape is broken, and Ground News is really filling that void for us to find out what the biases are in news before we read them. So we go in knowing that, hey, this is going to be skewed to the right or left, far right or far left. Go get Ground News. We're also brought to you by the absolute must way to get your quality meat delivered right to your house. We've told you before, me and Jesse enjoyed the chicken, the steak, the salmon that came. I mean, it's high quality. You're talking about pork, wild-caught lobster tails, wild-caught Alaskan salmon. This is like organic, wild-caught, no preservatives, none of that bad shit in your meats, no sugar, nitrate shit in your bacon. It's all free from sugars, nitrates, all those bad chemicals. It's a no-brainer, man. Each box that you order from Butcher Box comes with 9 to 11 pounds. I mean, how dope is that delivery? You just got pounds of meat. So get yourself a freezer. Comes with 9 to 11 pounds of meat It's freshly packed. We can attest to that. Shipped frozen and vacuum sealed. It makes it very simple to store because it's vacuum sealed in your freezer. And it makes it so you can pull together a delicious meal with a nice protein of your choice. Go tailor your box. Tell them what you want. It's very simple. Butcher Box. Butcher Box. Today's sponsor, Butcher Box. They want you to celebrate these last days of summer that we have. Go treat yourself and receive the special offer that they're giving to my fans right now. You will get free chicken, burgers, and hot dogs in your first box. This is a great deal for sharing with you, your friends. Let your friends know. Give them my promo code. It's just a variety to satisfy anyone's preference. You know, they have everything. So this is what you do. It's very simple. You go, you sign up, you choose your box, and delivery frequency. Like if you want this to be a regular thing, it's great. If you regularly want to keep getting your order from Butcher Box, you sign up and you select how often you want that to be. So you always have your meats delivered right to your house. It is so convenient. You don't got to go to the supermarket, obviously, and you're getting better quality meat delivered right to your door. They offer 5 boxes. 4 curated boxes are also offered as their popular custom, as well as their popular custom box. So you get exactly what you and your family want, and Butcher Box ships your order, frozen at the peak freshness and packed in an eco-friendly, 100% recyclable box. I mean, you're not hurting the environment, you're helping the environment. All you got to do is enjoy the great taste and high-quality meat delivered right to your fucking door. Me and Jesse have been enjoying it. So every single sponsor I have on this show, shout out to fucking Alex Aldea. He knows that I'm a guy who wants to, believe in the companies that I am selling. So Butcher Box has my 1,000% endorsement. You guys got to try it like I use it and tell me for yourself. You will not be disappointed. So here's what you got to do to go sign up. Go to butcherbox.com/fumes. That's butcherbox.com/fumes. Go get that free chicken, burgers, and hot dog in your first box with that promo code, and then become a regular customer like me and Jesse. You will not be disappointed. It is the highest quality meat. I don't even understand why we tried to conquer Afghanistan. Why didn't we just try to do the same thing we did with China? We're trying to stop our dependency on China. Why didn't we just go on the sneak tip, conquer the Middle East, and just say, all you guys got to do, we'll employ everyone here, okay? We just need to start building the factories here that used to be in China, and then that will put off you guys taking us over in 50 years. But for the next 50 years, we'll once again be able to rival the monster that we made Pygmalion style. I mean, is China not the statue we made? Do you know the Pygmalion story? You're a sculptor, right? Have you ever fallen in love with one of your paintings, Jesse? Have you ever painted a naked woman and jerked off to it? But you know the story of Pygmalion, right? Where he sculpts. So Pygmalion is this fable where the sculptor wanted to make the most beautiful woman, and he sculpted her, and he fell in love with her so much that the bitch came alive and left him. So he made her, and then she wanted to do her own thing. China right now is like, I'm sorry, it's not you. It's me, okay? Yes, you taught me all this. Yes, you brought me up. Yes, you introduced me to your friends. Yes, you took me to nice restaurants. Yes, you taught me how to build. Yes, you gave us baseball. You know what we did? We sent back a baseball player based on the love you gave us. And now, not only is he the best pitcher in baseball, he's also the best home run hitter. And yesterday he stole home plate, who I think only like 3 or 4 people in the history of Major League Sports have ever done that, one of which was Ty Cobb, who yelled the N-word while he did it and hit you in the face with his cleat. And the other one was Jackie Robinson, who had the pressure of his people on his back and wanted to prove to the white devil how much of the superior athlete black people were. Satchel Paige, you couldn't fucking hit off of him. And the third one is now from Japan. who we gave baseball. Pygmalion. We taught them, and now they're making baseball players that make our baseball players look like private school, grammar school, intramural athletes. Do you see what this fucking Japanese dude is doing? He's hit 40-plus home runs. Nobody's done this since Babe Ruth. And he stole fucking home plate yesterday. Do you remember Ichiro? If you look at Ichiro's stats, he's maybe the best baseball player of all time if he didn't start playing Major League Baseball at 28. If you take his Japanese stats into account, the kid's got like 15,000 hits. And people go, oh, those don't count. Apparently they do. Apparently that Japanese league is pretty fucking good.
Inside the park home runs using them.
Look at what's happening in basketball. I mean, like, we won the gold, but it's like getting close. It's getting close. The best players in basketball right now, Yannis is Greek. The kid in Dallas, what's his name?
Come on, man.
Luka Doncic. Kid's fucking Magic Johnson, come from a country that I didn't even know existed. What is it? Lithuania? Whatever the fuck he's from. He's from Estonia or some shit like that, which is where you go to bang cheap prostitutes. Slovenia. I mean, really? Kid from Slovenia playing like that? We're not number one anymore, is my point. All of our baseball league, Cuban, Dominican, Boricuas, or Boricos, Puerto Ricans, Venezuelans who cheat. They learned it from watching you, Dad. I learned it from watching you. You think we're going to go in there, fund paramilitary troops, let American companies grow bananas and steal all the fucking land and say that we're here to help you, open casinos, fuck prostitutes, enslave our people, throw them in fucking factories, build a canal where you want to make your shit going, and we're not going to steal signs during a baseball game against the evil empire New York Yankees? They learned it from watching us. Houston Astros. I'm talking about the other best player who cheated too. What's his name, the little guy?
Come on, man.
Yes.
Come on, man.
Nobody knows sports anymore. Altuve, the little Venezuelan that could steal. But he's still an amazing baseball player.
Yeah.
We still got the best of something. At least we're still dominating tennis. Wrong! Used to be Pete Sampras, Andre Agassi.
Federer, what's it?
Federer, Djokovic, and a Spanish kid? You're letting Rafa Nadal beat you? Where is our program to create athletes again? Boxers, for a while, the heavyweight division was run by two fucking Russian Dragos. Not good. Not good. Who's dominating MMA? Dagestanis. It won't be long before Asia, that's on the rise, will do the same thing that they're doing with this baseball player in all the sports. They're going to take over everything. We're just not number one anymore. And we just showed it in Afghanistan. And that's why Japan just passed their biggest military budget in a long time. Here's the deal. When we won World War II, General Marshall, we did something called the Marshall Plan, where, and this is what you're supposed to do when you win a war. Abraham Lincoln wanted to do the same thing. He died, and that's why our country's fucked. If Abraham Lincoln wasn't assassinated, he would have extended an olive branch to the South and not punished them. Andrew Johnson punished the fuck out of the South. Punished them. That's not what you're supposed to do. That's what the Treaty of Versailles, the first one the European powers did to Germany, punished them after World War I. Fucked it up. That's not what you're supposed to do. You whoop someone's ass, you don't keep talking shit and punish them further, because then you create animosity and you become the bad guy. You lift them up and say, hey man, good fight. Let me help you rebuild, which is what we did after World War II. Now we have an ally in Japan and Germany. We lifted them up, helped them rebuild, gave them baseball. Okay, but we said this only comes on one condition. We're going to forgive you a lot of shit, okay? You put Romanians, gypsies, gays, famously Jews, murdered Greek villagers, killed Yugoslavians, slaughtered Russians. We're talking about millions of people. We will look the other way if we give you baseball and we say to you, you guys can't have guns anymore. Enough's enough. We will be your protection, but you guys, your military, you can't do it, okay? Because Germans, they can't handle it. It's like giving an alcoholic a drink. You give a German a gun, it's just, there's a feeling, that is his opiate. He starts, right now they're just living with the sheikhs, and that's why they created the EU. They're trying to conquer it that way, economically. You know, they're like, oh, what we should have is a European Union. Like, that's never going to work. There's so many cultures, people are going to hate each other. How does that work for the other countries? Well, the thing is, we don't like paying taxes. When we don't like paying the import tax, the export. We are the economic powerhouse of Europe, and we want not so to make more money and conquer this way. So we said, okay, just let them conquer through economics. That's fine, as long as they don't get any fucking Panzer tanks back and methamphetamine. Okay, because all those guys were fucking hopped up on meth, and they got their tanks. So we took their tanks and we said, hey, be cool, we'll protect you. Japanese and Germany thrived, became economic powerhouses, using our systems, using our assistants, learning baseball. And then all of a sudden, we started watching reality TV. We started eating fast food. We started doing Dancing with the Stars. We stopped celebrating greatness. We started talking about equality, which is not American. Equality is not American. It's, hey, beat the fuck out of your competition and win. Win at all costs. America was Emilio Estevez's father in The Breakfast Club. We don't tolerate any losers in this family. All you gotta do is win. Now we've become Judd Nelson, just a drug-addicted fucking fat loser who pumps his fist in the sky because he kissed a chick, and he takes that as a victory because his dad burned cigarettes on his face. That's who we've become. So Japan is scared out of their fucking mind. Japan is seeking a record defense budget right now for new technology because they just watched what happened in Afghanistan, and they said, you can't even protect those fucking people from a ragtag bunch of dudes with Toyota like a rock trucks who are running around with Kalashnikov fucking Russian old guns. And the spirit of Allah, you can't even stop them from taking back their country in minutes. As soon as we were like, yo, we're out, they were like, yo, we're back. Like bed bugs. Fucking the Taliban is back like fucking bed bugs, dog. Remember bed bugs were eradicated and then we got rid of that chemical because of environmentalists, and now we're all scared of bed bugs? The Taliban is back like Brendan Fraser, who, Jesus fuck, was that kid pulled out of a river after being murdered? He looks like a bloated corpse. But he's back. Pull up Brendan Fraser. So Japan just watched what happened in fucking Afghanistan. They said, we got to start arming ourselves because right across this fucking Chinese river or whatever it's called over there, because we're not even taught to learn about over there, because we're just taught that America is the best and everything else is fucking garbage. I don't even know what that body of water is called, but across the river there is a fucking giant called China that's looking at Japan and say, you know what, Japan? You guys look a lot like us. Wouldn't it be nice if you also were part of us? Look at Brendan Fraser. How does that happen? How much fucking Chick-fil-A is this kid eating? Jesus Christ. I don't know if there's been a bigger fall from grace. The USA or Brendan Fraser? So Japan's going to start arming themselves as China, mark my words, you heard it first on LongDays, just like you hear most things first on LongDays. If you go back and listen, I'm always ahead of the curve, sweetheart. they're going to take the whole Eastern Hemisphere. China will control Pakistan, India. They will control Korea. They already control North Korea. They'll get to South Korea. They'll get to Japan. They already took Hong Kong. They're going to control that whole area with their manifest destiny. I don't know how to say that in Chinese. Can someone start making noises and maybe we'll get lucky? Shout out Sergio Chacon for one of the funniest things I've ever heard. That is their manifest destiny, where they want to spread just like we did. That's what happens when you become powerful. You want to conquer. You want more. So, I can't wait who Jake Paul's going to fight next. That's what really matters. What is it? How do you say it? Manifest destiny in Chinese is, why don't you throw the volume button on it? Let's hear what it says. And because that's the name of the episode. Tianmin. Tianmin. I'm reading it as Tianmin. I haven't looked down once because fucking Yanni. Someone just say it again.
Oh, you got it right.
Say it again. Tianmin.
You're close.
Manifest destiny, baby. You telling me President Z ain't talking about that shit in parliament meetings that the AP is not invited to? That's going to be our new Wei Xiaoqi.
I was just thinking that.
I mean, they already did spread if you count COVID as a Chinese creation. Thank you, Jay Harvard. Where'd you get that shirt? I got this shirt. This kid who comes to all my shows made this shirt. I can't remember your name because I'm an arrogant comedian and I don't view you as people. You're just numbers. You're an algorithm to me. Jay Harvin. Jeff Bezos wants to go to space because he hopes the zero gravity will even out his eyes. Jay Harvin 15 on Instagram. Yanni is too scared to read my comments. No, I am not, Omar, king of the, what's it called? Where my chat is? Discord. Go join my Discord.
I gotta join.
Good. I don't know. Contact Omar to join the Discord. Patreon.com/Yanni LongDays. I will be in Baltimore. I will be coming up in Richmond, Virginia in like 2 weeks. So go to YannisPappasComedy.com for Richmond and Baltimore tickets. A few Connecticut shows too in September. My new show, Unleashed, go watch that. For BetMGM, go. You can find that on iTunes or whatever with me, Olivia Harlan Decker. But if you live in the Richmond area, Richmond, Virginia, I'm coming to kill Confederates. Jay Harvin 15. I don't even proofread them. I just go with Jay Harvin 15. The Taliban had a parade and they didn't need any floats because their carpets do that already. They had a parade. There you go. Jake Paul for president, dog. I want to see that.
Did you hear about Tyron Woodley getting the tattoo that says "I love"?
Did he get
Paul?
the tattoo?
He's going to.
I'm getting a tattoo that says "I love China."
Because he wants a rematch, so the only way he'll
I
get
know.
the rematch.
Of course he wants a rematch. He wants to make some money.
Yeah, $2 million each.
But nobody's going to watch that fight. Just like nobody's watching what's happening except for Yanni LongDays. We have a rival in the world. We are not the superpower anymore that we used to be. And we need to wake up. We need to wake up like USA Gymnastics needed to wake up to the fact that they had a doctor who was just molesting every single champion we've ever had for the last 20 years. Dr. Nasser.
I didn't catch him in time.
But here's the deal. USA Gymnastics right now is about to agree to a $425 million settlement for the survivors of his abuse. I got two questions, Jesse Scaturo, and you need to answer them for me. One, how the fuck does the gymnastics squad, how does the USA Gymnastics have $425 million to give out like they're Coca-Cola for a settlement? That means they have $1 billion. If you give out $425 million, you're willing to settle for $425 million? Who the fuck watches gymnastics outside of the Olympics? Who the fuck is watching gymnastics besides pedophiles and patriotic Americans during the Olympics? I think they made gymnasts so young because they know the only people that would watch gymnastics are pedophiles. The same way they let them fight in hockey because the only people that will watch hockey is drunk white guys who like to fight. Now, let me ask you a question. This is LongDays, so we don't do what you call morality here. We do funny. If you were a gymnast and you found out that the only way you could make any money is if you were like the greatest in the world and you got on a Wheaties box for 1 year and you got a couple of endorsements and maybe a Jimmy Fallon appearance and 10 minutes of fame. I mean, can you even remember the blonde-haired girl who's the gymnast who won the gold medal like 2 weeks ago? I can't remember her fucking name. I can only remember Simone Biles' name, and that's it. I can't even remember the Asian girl who won fucking gold medal in the all-around. I don't remember, okay? And I watched them. That's because nobody cares about gymnastics. But if somebody said to you, listen, you're a what you're doing is incredible. It's when you watch it, it's like this is a superhuman feat, but it doesn't get the love. Unlike the WNBA, which is not a superhuman feat, this is a superhuman feat. You're fucking trolling around, but nobody appreciates it. You're not going to make money. But if this doctor does fucking molest you, you will make $10 million, $20 million each. Is it worth it?
Yeah.
Drew says, yeah, because he's from Jersey and he's a pedo hunter. Don't you understand that goes opposite to what your job is? You're supposed to catch people.
I know. I should have. I didn't catch him soon
Jesse
enough.
says no because Jesse's a good guy. What has that gotten you, Jesse, being a good guy?
Sitting here. Yeah.
Sitting here. And what has being a good guy gotten me? Sitting here. No studio head in Hollywood cared that I did social work for 5 years. They said, are you a lesbian? No. Get out of my office.
Is your name Elliot? No.
I love when fucking people try to tell me I'm offensive or whatever. And like they just sit on their couch and have done nothing for society. I did 5 years of fucking social work. I gave back. I don't know if it's a clear-cut no, it's not worth it to get $20 million. Obviously, I'm kidding. But I'm just saying, have you ever hooked up with a Catholic girl from Catholic school? Does anyone fuck with more passion than a Catholic girl from Catholic school? Is the repression of Catholicism not worth it for the sexual monsters it creates? Because without that oppressive, repressive religion, those girls wouldn't want to suck the skin off your dick the way that they do because it's bad. It's naughty. I'm just saying you can't make omelets without breaking a few eggs. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying it's a good thing what this guy did, but I am saying $425 million is pretty sweet compensation, especially since there's no way to make money as a gymnast, and a lot of these girls go back to stocking shelves like Kurt Warner, dreaming of a Super Bowl. That's what they do. That's what the media does, you know. They're making a movie out of Kurt Warner right now. I interviewed him yesterday. Great guy. Great guy. I asked my co-host if we should do the interview in tongues. Kid loves Jesus. I think he speaks God's language too, which is tongues. We know that. I may get fired from my other show from this joke, but I don't sacrifice my own show's humor for anything. Okay? Kurt Warner is a committed Christian. I respect that. I respect the commitment. If you're going to be Jewish, wear the wool suit, wear the curls, suck the foreskin off that little kid's penis when they circumcise him, and don't have your ham touch your cheese. That is a real Jew. I don't like these compromised bullshits. I don't like that. That's not what God said. God said you can't fucking have a ham and cheese sandwich, Shlomi. You're going to hell. You're not a Jew anymore. You're a Muslim and you have bacon, guess what? Hell.
Haram.
Yeah. You make friends with a Christian, you're obviously not familiar with jihad, my friend. Hell. You're a woman and your hair is exposed? Hell. Okay? I don't like these fucking reform religions. Basically, that's bullshit. You're just trying to rationalize not being religious and still say you are, okay? Jesse, your father was Italian, your mother was Jewish. That means you're Jewish. You can't just take the bar mitzvah money and then go have a fucking ham sandwich and think that God's not watching you, dog. You're going to fucking Ari Shafir's purgatory where you have to prove to God that you are sorry for eating a dirty bodega ham sandwich after you were drunk.
Eating all that gabagool.
Exactly. I don't like that. I respect fucking full religious people. I do.
Keep it kosher.
I respect them so much. I support Texas's decision to ban abortions. What's the tell us? They were fucking rushing abortions last night. Like we were trying to get our last partying in before the quarantine. You remember we knew that there was an impending lockdown coming and everyone just went out and fucked one last time and went to one last techno party? Last night in Texas, there was more quicker abortions. I mean, cuz they killed more babies more quicker than the Newtown shooter. Sorry.
Yannis.
Thank you. it's a good one. Manifest Destiny in Chinese. I mean, so last night they were rushing to just get abortions because they knew that Texas was going to pass this law, which is very complicated. A lot of states have tried it. 12 states have tried to ban abortion. What Texas is doing right now they have passed a law that essentially bans abortions once a heartbeat is detectable, which is 6 weeks, which is usually when a woman is not even aware that she's pregnant yet. You know. So basically it means you can't get an abortion. Unless the next day, I mean, the people who are real happy about this are the morning after pill. Whoever makes the morning after pill is like, yo, Amazon, put us on your website. We're going to be doing a lot of shipping to Texas.
My Plan B smoothie.
Now, here's the deal. There's going to be a population swell in Texas. There already is because all the people trying to evade taxes in California and also just trying to find a new cool place have moved from California to Austin. How quick do you think that they're going to pick that caravan up and move back to California? Because there's nothing more than soulless Californian people love than killing babies. When someone tells me they're a progressive or they tell me they're a Democrat, I'm like, prove it, dog. How many abortions have you had? Me, 6. That's how much of a committed lefty I am. Abortion. Because they're going to fucking run back to California quicker than the Mormons followed Joe Smith to fucking Utah. There's about to be an exodus of just hipsters following some guy named Shane with a neck tattoo and a 1930s barber's mustache. And they're going to hop in their fucking fuel-efficient cars and they're driving the fuck out of Texas to go kill their babies in good old California. There's a gold rush of abortions out there. Crazy. The Supreme Court has not ruled on this like they have in the past where they've upheld Roe v. Wade over it because the way this Texas law was crafted, it makes it so you can sue anyone who facilitates an abortion, the doctor, all the way up to the people who drive you to the abortion. Like you can get sued for like minimum $10,000. It's very complicated, but they figured out a way to eschew. They figured out a way to eschew Roe v. Wade. And essentially, de facto, much like the Chinese did with the national security law, figured out a way to make it illegal to have an abortion in Texas. So Christians and Republicans, just get ready to take a lot of unwanted babies in, baby. You thought you were going to have an influx of Californians, and that was too much. Wait till you see the fucking apocalypse zombie army of unwanted children who flood your streets. That would be a great way for Armageddon to happen. If it isn't like, if it's just like us versus all these otherwise aborted fetuses that grow up who just hate their lives because their parents didn't want them and they grew up in foster homes and shit like that. You know, it's real funny. You're going to need, Texas, you're going to have to add some social programs to handle all these unwanted kids, dog. I mean, they're going to be chucking on, you're going to find unwanted kids on the side of the road like a fucking Twinkie wrapper. Because people ain't going to, thank you. Because people are not going to stop fucking. They're not going to stop fucking. But that's it. Abortion is pretty much illegal in Texas right now. So there's going to be a lot of refugees. There's going to be a lot of refugees out of Texas right now going to states that have different laws. The woman's right to choose. The thing about abortion is, where the left makes their mistake, I believe, in my humble opinion, is they don't admit that abortion is a horrible thing. No matter which way you slice it, it's not, they celebrate it like, it's my right to, you know, it's like, as if they're not like killing a potential life, right? So even, you got to look at it as a necessary evil, kind of. You got to like market it that way. Like, look, this is a woman, you know, this is a woman's decision. You got to market it with the great Louis C.K.'s joke off his last special before he became persona non grata by the ladies, by the Charlie's Angels activate. He had a joke where he said, hey, this is Louis C.K., but it's a good joke. He said, hey, don't those states have a law where you could kill someone if they're on your property? I mean, you can kill someone if they're in your house. Shouldn't you be able to kill someone if they're in your body? Thank you. Wild. So the squad, let's get to squad news. You know I love my squad news. The squad news is asking Joe Biden to replace the Fed chairman. Now get this, his name is Jerome Powell. Now if I didn't think that was a brother, you got another thing coming. If you tell me some guy's name is Jerome Powell, I'm expecting to see someone that looks exactly like Jay Harvin 15. But pull up Jerome Powell. Jay Harvin 15 says, Texas is going to be so wild with you're not going to be able to tell if you're in Dallas or Nick Cannon's house. Nick Cannon has a lot of kids.
Here's Jerome. There's
Jerome Powell. He looks like a Star Wars villain. He looks like the guy who goes to Darth Vader in a cap and goes, Commander Vader, Luke Skywalker is downstairs with Princess Leia, and they're commanding to see you. That is the whitest fucking guy named Jerome I've ever seen.
Looks evil.
Yeah. Well, that's what, according to AOC, the Beyonce of the squad, she wants to get rid of him. Now, why does she want to get rid of him? Because she says he is not as active on fighting climate change with his policies as she's like, especially after all these scientists said, hey, we're going to die in like 5 minutes. And the scientists are probably right like they usually are. And if they're not right, they always amend it because their process is, you know, the scientific method and peer review, and they're constantly seeking to amend what they've come up with to find out what exactly is the truth. So we're probably going to all die pretty soon. Land is not going to be areable, not going to be hospitable. So AOC and the squad, we're living at a time where there are representatives of people who are called by the media the squad. I mean, what the fuck is going on? The squad. I mean, I just want to watch AOC deep porn fake, and I just want to talk about sports and check out. That's why I love that I have this sports show, because I just want to check out. I just want to check out and talk about sports. So AOC and the squad are calling on Biden to replace Jerome Powell to fight climate change. Now, Jerome Powell I think he was appointed by Obama, and then he was upheld by Trump. And they're trying to get rid of him. AOC's not always wrong. I'm not here to say I'm just a comedian is wrong or right, but I think climate change, which John Kerry, who somehow has found his way. John Kerry's like the Robert Horry of the political establishment. You're like, he's still in the league and he's still winning championships. He just finds a way to stay in politics. He was Secretary of State. What is he now? Is he like a climate change emissary? John Kerry is going to meet with Japan and China. It seems like it's the only thing that China and America agree on right now is climate change. So he's meeting with the CCP to talk about ways that they can both fight emissions and help save the planet for China's dominance. He is the United States Special Presidential Envoy for Climate. I mean, this fucking kid gets a job. I mean, John Kerry with that sad loser fucking face has managed to stay in politics. I mean, he's just around the league, dog. He's just around the fucking league. Like, he's just around the league like Charles Barkley, just still there.
1971, John Kerry.
Yeah. He's been around forever. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know how Fed... Do you understand any of this? What does the Fed policy have to do with climate change?
They do interest rates. I don't really understand what they would have to do with climate change. It seems like something that...
It's just easier to be like us and stupid.
Yeah,
I mean, we're just stupid.
The
three people in the room have no idea why this is. And I'm just going to say I support AOC. I don't think she's always wrong, dog. I don't think she's always wrong. You know? That's the thing. She's probably right. Does anyone understand this? Comment roulette. I'm looking down. I'm reading what I see. Does anyone understand how the Fed... What does the Fed do, by the way? They decide interest rates. So Jesse knows that, which means like what time it is for the banks to make money and making you buy a house you can't afford. Let's be honest. That's the way the bank makes money, by selling you the American dream, going, hey, you know what? Don't rent, buy a house, which basically means we're buying the house, and then you have to pay us back, and we'll lend out your money to other people and on interest because we're loan sharks, and that's how we make our money. Houses is just a way for banks to make money. Buy a house. Why the fuck are you going to buy a house like me and be stupid? I'm fucking dead in 20 years, and my wife's going to inherit it anyway because she's younger than me.
My dad won the lottery.
Rogan has COVID.
No way.
Someone just said that. Is that true? Can we look that up? Can you look that up right now? They are a private bank. They are part of the federal government. Yeah, it's always a little weird. Yeah, we just have what you call breaking news over here at the LongDays studio. No, Rogan does not have COVID. That is what you call fake news.
It says he'll refund fans who don't want to get a vaccine, though.
Jay Harvin 15 comment roulette says Texas is trying to increase kids and China is trying to limit them. This is going to be the first world war fought exclusively on Fortnite. Very funny. If you don't have COVID and you listen to this podcast, you do have Yovid, which is Yannis, which is a Yanni disease where he harasses you to get the vaccine. That's called Yovid.
You did it to me.
Elizabeth Holmes she's going to trial. She sold us some fake shit, right? And she got caught and she blamed it on her the patriarchy, correct? I love that bitch. I mean, you could tell she's a psychopath just by looking at her. Can you pull up a picture of this bitch's eyes? Because she's as cold as Darth Vader. Talk about fucking Star Wars. This bitch, when you look at her, she looks like you're staring at the Night Stalker. I mean, if you stick your dick in that crazy, you're a fucking moron. Okay?
Doll.
I will credit Alexis Guerreros, who's a comedian who thinks he's bigger than he is. And I love him to death, but he is big in size. Alexis Guerreros said his Cuban grandfather gave him one tip for life, and that tip was never stick your dick in the crazy. Look at that bitch. Could you not see that crazy from miles away? Jesse's allergic to crazy, which is why I love, you see crazy coming a while. Like when Drew came here, you're like, are you sure you're making the right decision? And I said, we need a little youth and instability in this room. I mean, Drew's an interesting case.
I know.
Because he wants to be heard.
I felt that vibe.
He doesn't, the fans don't want to hear from him. But once in a while, he will say something that will spur me on a great rant. Like that fucking, who's the white rapper who's got a regular name?
Jack Harlow.
Jack Harlow, that was because Drew said something. And then I went off and we had a hit rant. So you're like COVID. There's a lot of bad that comes out of you, but there's also going to be a lot of good changes too. Like we don't got to go to work anymore. That's great. You can work from your own house because of Drew. Drew is human COVID. Drew, would you fuck her?
Yeah.
Of course you
I
would.
was thinking about it.
I'm asking a guy who's got a collection of fleshlights at his house. How many fleshlights do you have? You're 24 years old. You got great fucking hair. You got a great job chasing pedos. You're the son of a firefighter. You're a jack kid. You apparently know how to box. You got fucking Yeezys on there unlaced. You have 2 Jesus Christ crosses on right now.
They were 2 for $60. I only used them twice. They're too
The
much
kid
maintenance to clean.
I mean, you are double Catholic. Drew is wearing 2 crosses. And he's got Jesus on his chest. It's always great to have a crazy Catholic in the room. Why are you fucking fleshlights when you could be banging chicks? Your gut's out. You look like me right now.
Yeah, I know. That's COVID gut for you.
So you got 2 crosses because they were 2 for $60?
Well, my brother got me both for both of my birthdays from each year in a row.
Does that one have bling on it?
This one's $3,500. This little thing right here.
Oh, shit.
He
Drew-
gave it to me. I didn't buy it.
Drew's wearing 2 crosses. I love you, Drew.
You could cut this. Did you see how I won $100,000 off a $5 slot?
I didn't see that, and we're not going to cut it.
Oh well.
Okay, because I want the people to see.
Well, I don't want tax collectors.
No, but I want the people to see how random your conversation can be sometimes. Me and Jesse will be setting up in the studio, and Drew will be talking about the traffic that come here, and I was in there taking a shit, listening to Jesse try to pretend to pay attention while Drew was talking about the BQE. I love you to death.
Traffic sucks.
Traffic always fucking sucks, cuz. You're coming from Jersey. We're going to get you an apartment in Bay Ridge.
It's only a 45-minute drive, though.
It's not that bad. So Elizabeth Holmes, who was born in Crazy Town, USA, is being sued because she created some company where apparently she had some miracle mechanism, right, with some blood tests, much like BGI, and it ended up all being fake. There was no technology there. And, she got caught, and she blamed it on her boyfriend, right?
That's what she's trying.
She's trying to blame it on her boyfriend. She faces 20 years in prison as her company, which was called Theranos. She tried to hide it in a good Greek name. And it's worth, her startup was once worth $9 billion. Credit the great Tim Dillon when you say, fake business, baby. And as it turns out, it was all bullshit. There was no technology there. She was just some crazy bitch from some WASP family that fucking dropped out of Stanford University, created a fake business, stole a bunch of fucking money with her blood testing industry, and was able to hide behind the fact that she was a fucking boss bitch. She was not a fucking child-rearing fucking Republican fucking bitch. She was empowered, she was the boss of her own company, and she was fucking telling men what to do. She didn't take no shit, okay? And the word bitch and the word boss have no place in fucking society. Do the backstroke, yas, for all the bosses in the room that have uteruses. Yes, you are birthing people. You are not women. Respects trans rights. Give it up for our fucking Gloria Steinem approved feminist hero, Elizabeth Holmes, who proves that women can be just as much of fucking assholes as men. You think men are the only ones who can fucking start a fucking Enron company and steal all your fucking money? No. Fucking this bitch proved that you're just as good at men as being fucking thieves.
That's a good clip right there.
She did it.
she the one with the fake voice?
She had a fake company.
Well, like that would talk like this or whatever.
What do you mean?
She's the one
She
that
talk like a man?
No, she would use a deep voice and talk like this. You don't know about that?
Google it.
Oh shit! Yeah, let's hear her voice.
Social Security is going to run out of money sooner than expected. Victory for the right, huh? Let's see.
It was a stunning fall from grace.
Look at this crazy bitch.
Stanford dropout who became a tech billionaire after claiming to revolutionize lab tests using a single drop of blood. Now, as she faces a criminal trial, people are asking what happened to her voice. Holmes now speaks with a deep, commanding delivery, but her former professor says she used to sound a lot different.
We're learning more about Elizabeth Holmes, the one-time billionaireess who's spectacular.
Look how crazy she is, don't she?
Ever since she became a national figure, people have been struck by her deep voice.
We've made it possible to eliminate the tubes and tubes of blood that traditionally have to be drawn from an arm.
But it turns out it may have
That's
been
fake.
all an act, a put-on to make her sound more authoritative.
People who knew her before she became the Elizabeth Holmes with that baritone voice, many of them do point to the fact that her voice definitely sounded different beforehand.
A professor who taught Holmes at Stanford remembers Holmes' voice as sort of high-pitched when she was an undergraduate student. Then came the big switch.
She says with this low voice, I'm like, oh my God.
Holmes founded Theranos, the biotech company that created
Dude, she's out of her mind.
from just a
She's
single
wearing
drop of blood.
a turtleneck. All right. She's wearing a Steve Jobs turtleneck and talking like him.
Told you.
Yeah, I mean, just follow your dreams, kids. Follow whatever you want to do. I mean, dreams can't just be limited to people who want to do good things. Dreams also need to include people who want to steal a bunch of people's money. Hats off, Elizabeth Holmes, fucking sticking it to the patriarchy right where the patriarchy deserves. This has been a great episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Now we're going to read some Patreon names. I never plug it. Hopefully Jesse can just put it up during the episode. Patreon.com/YanniLongDays for a weekly bonus episode and other content. Go join at the level you can afford and become a subscriber to my channel, to this show. That's the way it works. That's what keeps the comedy independent. What the fuck was that? Subscribe. Now for our Patreon members. Guys, time for our small business shout-outs. As always, you got to support these guys. ZJamaRealty.com for any commercial or apartment rental listings in Brooklyn. If you listen to this podcast and you're moving to Brooklyn or you got a business, you're looking for a spot in Brooklyn, ZJamaRealty.com. Go check out these screwed-in kids. They will find you a spot. ZJamaRealty.com. ZJamaRealty.com. Shout out Andrew Cuomo's secretary. Shout out to our favorite WASP down in South Florida, Grant Trower, South Florida Realty. If you're looking to get out of New York, you want to move anywhere in South Florida, you hit up Grant Trower. .theatlanticrealtygroup.com. GrantTrower.theatlanticrealtygroup.com, or just call them up, 954-591-6465, and you can follow them, him at the gram, on the gram at Grant _Trower. So Grant Trower, we love you, you fucking South Florida WASP. Then we got our boy, of course, Squeegee Luigi. These are all great names for these small shout-outs. So you know the deal with Squeegee Luigi. He personally creates every item that he offers, from his cannabis paraphernalia, his exotic dab tools, pipes, rolling trays, luxury pens, jewelry, and my favorite, self-defense gear. Tools, furniture, and beyond. All you got to do is go to his site. I go all the time and peruse it. Just go check it out. It's really cool. Go follow him on the gram at Get Turned Co. That's GET Turned Co. GETTURNTCO. Get Turned Co. and go leave him a comment and check out his shit and support his stuff. Squeegee Luigi. Then, of course, we got the great Sauce Monkey himself, Chris Monetti. In the Philly, South Jersey area, there's only one option. You got to go to Monetti Financial Services if you need a business check cashed in that area. And all you got to do is call Chris at 215-750-3730. No website, nothing. Old school. Just call the fucking guy on the phone. He packs a gun. Then, of course, we got from Michael Hamlet Jr., we got to give a small business shout out to one of my favorite shout outs. Mike is the founder and creative director of the Bronx brand. You know it. He's also a recovering hyena. So he wants me to say that. And he's now a long hauler. He is a big supporter. So you got to go to the Bronx brand. They collab with local artists in the Bronx to celebrate the culture of the Bronx and New York City as a whole. And each Bronx artist they work with earns a revenue share with each sale. So every purchase you make helps support a local artist, from prints to clothings, etc. To Stories in the Bronx magazine. The Bronx brand is uplifting the home of hip hop. That's where it started. It's really dope. It really is. So I'm very proud to have them. Go to thebronxbrand.com and just go check it out and get yourself something cool for your crib or to wear. Very cool shit. I'm going to be buying something soon. I was looking at your site and it's dope, man. It really is. So thank you, Michael Hamlet Jr. Then, of course, we got Reese Orman, my man, Reese. What's the dollars? This kid has got a great idea, man. So, you know the deal. Everyone needs IT right now. Instead of hiring a whole IT department or personnel, all you got to do is go to techvera.com. You can find them on Facebook, TechVera IT, LinkedIn, TechVera. Just mention Reese in the ad, and he's the CEO. So just mention Reese. So if you need to hire anybody for any IT need, okay? Automation, security, whatever the fuck it is, what they do is they offer 24/7, 365 coverage and unlimited support, unlimited IT support to their flat rate partners. So it's a really great idea, and it makes IT help so much easier than hiring people. You can just hire TechVera. So go and do that with my boy Reese, the CEO of TechVera. Eastside Cheesecakes. Guys, if you're in the Los Angeles area, you got to go support Julia and Gregory. You can actually get a cheesecake at any Uncle Paulie's Deli. Friend of the show, Uncle Paulie, who's a friend of mine. You can go to eastsidecheesecakes.com. Follow them on the gram, Eastside Cheesecakes. They have the freshest, most delicious variety of flavored cheesecake going, brother. Go start and support them by looking at their gram. We love supporting their small business and watching them grow. It's just absolutely food porn. That's where you start. Just go follow them on the gram, Eastside Cheesecakes. Aaron Leaf, what's the fucking deal is with you, my brother? For the Free is an organization dedicated to providing artists in Hawaii a place to develop their craft. They host free shows, post free music from local Hawaii artists. Go check out For the Free as soon as you can. forthefree.us. Check them out. It's all free. They got videos of events, stuff like that. Go support local Hawaii artists and learn about new bands coming out of Hawaii. So cool. Aaron Leaf, we appreciate you. Rob's fucking Mental Playground. The fucking king. Go to Rob's Mental Playground on the fucking gram. Support this fucking wild kid. He made the hyena that's on my set that you see every time we do a chat episode. Rob'sMentalPlayground.com. You have to buy something from Rob for the fun of it. Okay? Go support Rob. Rob'sMentalPlayground.com, Rob's Mental Playground on the gram. Check him out and go commission a piece of art or a t-shirt or something from Rob. You got to support Rob. If you love this show, we're going to keep Rob's Mental Playground in business because I can't lose Rob's Mental Playground. So go fucking buy something and post it. I will repost it. Let's keep Rob afloat. Then, of course, Jared Z from the Stink Box Tallahassee, looking for that hairy Yanni P to make me a cuzzy. You know the deal with this kid. ExclusiveAutoShipping.com. Just go get your free quote if you're moving your car anywhere in the United States. Who knows, the fucking world. Their reviews are great. ExclusiveAutoShipping.com if you need to move your car, if you're moving anywhere. It's as simple as that. Thank you to each and every one of you. Small business sold out. That tier is sold out to you guys. It's yours for as long as you want it. As soon as someone drops off, there's going to be a fucking hyena there to pick it up. So I hope this is helping awareness for your brand, and I really enjoy doing it because you guys are hustlers, and this is the era of that, and you actually, all of you got a great product. So thank you so much. Now let's get to the fucking Patreon members. Am I missing somebody else? No, that's it. Okay, now for our Patreon members, our newest, patreon.com/Yanni LongDays. Let's see if there's some funny names. We always encourage it. Austin Manley, welcome. Enzo Long, thank you. Come on. Jamie Bass, Martin Luther King. That's a goodie. Martin Luther King. Richie Benson, Jimmy Lundstrom, Scandinavian kid. Devin James, yeah, Maine. Not Another Cooking Show, welcome. Brianna R, welcome girl. Woodchip, Addie, Zach Tomasco, Saeed Barhoosh, Derek McNamara, Will Albrecht, Marcus Wastadalas, Ari Shalom, Keith Reeves, Fartface. That's a good chicken figure, Fartface. Fartface, don't ever leave. I love that name. That might be one of my favorites, just Fartface. You call your dog Fartface? Robot W Human HAIR. Robot with human hair. That's what it is. Robot with human hair. Very funny. Bill Cosby's stepson molester. No, but his stepson is Mo Lester. You get it? So the whole Bill Cosby's good. Usually when they go too long, it fucks it up. But this is Bill Cosby's stepson, Mo Lester. Home run Hall of Fame, maybe number one of all time. Maybe number one of all time. My personal favorite might be Fartface. Then we got Charlie Caruth, Eli, Shalom. And that's it. So patreon.com/Yanni LongDays. Go join for your weekly bonus episode and bonus content. And subscribe to the channel. We appreciate you guys, and we'll see you next time.
It's been a